The further their quest proceeded, the more dangers there were to face. Even the dead had no claim to peace anymore. In the darkest depths of the caves, further than a weary traveler dares to tread, lay the chamber of Anea Daya and her golem. The first step toward the mountain god. As the conversation turned to the progress of the corruption, Mary was curious to know which village had been attacked this time. However, that worry gave way to panic when Lucy entered. Poor beasts, all slaughtered. Maybe something had infected them. The corruption was on their doorstep now. The goblin bandits had been preying on Anea Daya's pilgrims with unprecedented cruelty. Removing the evil would help those who had taken refuge in the caves. Ben had heard that the goblin's siblings' lair was somewhere in the lost trenches. Bergsons had to deal with those two as soon as they could.
This monstrous creature shouldn't keep me from finding the cure for the little cub, the Bergson thought.
One fungus bulb harvested, not the most pleasant of smells, but would give bite and power to any remedy. Hold on just a little longer, young cub. She taunted the Guardian to provoke a pursuit. Further she fled. Bellagio fled further. Deeper into the depths she moved. Relishing the chase, she accepted defeat. While painful for a mother to see her son in sickness, was still better than missing him for so long. Mary knew that she would make caring for Mark her mission. Mark had to warn them about the dangers approaching, despite how difficult it was to talk. He started naming the villages that were evacuated, or worse, taken over by the corruption, but soon succumbed to fatigue and fell asleep. Mary recalled hearing of an herbalist in Caldipo caves that would have the yarrow at hand needed to treat Mark. The Bergsons would once again need to brave the treacherous caves in search of the herbalist. As if night had become day, the cub showed no signs of its past struggles, with Lucy and he now simply dancing the day away. If the little wolf cub was to stay, it would need a room and bed of its own. All too happy to build it, Ben only required some wood and nails from nearby. Old tales and amusing stories. The Bergsons well knew that even in the darkest of hours, they would lighten a heavy heart. And furthermore, maybe those heroes of old could teach something of their ways to the heroes of now, while they listen to the trove of Grandma Margaret's stories. The most pressing matter, the healing herb needed to be taken to Mary. For those seeking refuge, one problem simply replaced another. Though he was relieved to see family, Uncle Ben's first thought was of scavenging the things he needed to repair the ramshackle wagon. With supplies in hand, Ben began repairing the cart as the refugees waited, anxious to continue their trek. The heat had only grown more intense in the young child's hands, far stronger than any would suspect in one so young. Her training could no longer be just a pastime, for fire was a dangerous friend. Margaret knew full well that signs and symbols were seldom obvious and never direct. She was certain that the cause of the corruption would be difficult to discover. The origin of the threat of corruption was what occupied most of Grandma's time lately. When pressed, Mountain God was the only answer Grandma gave. Making mistakes was part of learning, no matter how talented you are. Lucy was feeling disheartened. Once more, she had better mastery of fire this time. But wait, disaster was about to happen. Thankfully, her father intervened in time. Always eager to fight, Kevin's new exercise resembled a dance more than a fighting technique. With all the noise he was making with his practicing, the family might have trouble sleeping tonight. It was right here. The Bergson thought that this would be one final thing that they could do for the wolf cub. I need your help, Sheila. If not for me, come to the aid of the family, for Mary and her children. And so Ben's letter ended. His doubts showing, he contemplated his relationship with the warrior, the emotional and single-minded Sheila. Why had they ended? The question still unanswered. Never would a wolf cub live in as nice a house as the one Ben was building. When asked what name to put on the house, Lucy yelled out, "Riker! Riker the wolf cub!"
Feeding the shy fish always involved much pomp and circumstance, a ritual that was usually held by Lucy and Linda and featured the animal's playfulness.
The air vibrated with the pilgrims' chanted prayers, prayers offered to a deity that perhaps slumbered, unhearing, at the end of their journey. The hero did not know how many of them would survive the coming days. Wherever there was a secret, knowledge was to be gained in reward. And wherever there was a reward, danger lurked. The cipher was important enough that it brought Grandma here. Here's to being lucky, Grandma exclaimed with her unique sense of humor. The poor herbalist had no valuables, but the goblin's greed had now surpassed gold and jewels. Shedding tears for the dead man would serve no one now. The herbs needed to be delivered to Mary. In the darkest depths of the caves, further than a weary traveler dares to tread, lay the chamber of Anea Daya and her golem. The first step toward the mountain god. Grandma arrived in time to reveal the contents of the tablet. The secrets of Rhea are in the hearts of the stones, and for those whose weapons guard the creatures of the wild, there are new arts of war to be learned.
Adam writes about how he and the gang found more than they set out to find.
The creature that now threatened the hero was a crudely focused inferno of hatred and malice. If one raging beast was not enough, then surely two were. Letting out a final rasping breath, the second beast became motionless. The poor creatures, twisted by the corruption, were finally able to rest. A path to be cleared of the corruption, and the jewel of life to be restored. The realm of Anea Daya, mother of beasts and the goddess of waters. Before embarking for the spirit halls, however, the family must be informed of the newly opened passage. The goblin siblings lay dead, and the pilgrims were now safer in their caves. But the last step remained to be taken. The warriors knew only that somewhere in the expanse of the caves was the ancient halls of the spirit who would reveal new truths to them. Mark was out of the woods now. His fever gone, he was almost up and about. "Welcome back, brother," said Kevin. He had avoided conflict over the years, living in harmony with nature. But as Uncle Ben was fond of saying, a Bergson would forget how to walk before they forget how to fight. Whenever he could find time, Mark was reading about herbs and salves, his interest in medicine inherited from his grandmother.